This week on the Potluck. Parental roles for virtual learning. Roles for the teachers for virtual learning and proper grammar. Join your host, Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr. via Facebook Live and or YouTube. Bon appetit. Tune in this Thursday at 7:14 p.m. Hello, people. It is time for the Potluck. I'm excited for everyone to come in and join. We know the tradition is once we get 14 people in, then we will begin. I just realized that rhymes. Today has been a crazy day, real crazy day. How are you doing, Tamika? Thank you so much for tuning in. You're actually the first person to tune in. Ashley Williams, thank you so much for tuning in. Our goal is to get 14 people in, and once we've reached that goal, and then we will go ahead and get started with tonight's topic. JD McGee, a very faithful one. How are you doing, Deborah Brown Jones? Thank you so much for tuning in. We will get started here shortly. We have 7 people that are in currently. The goal is 14. Julius Boy, my cousin, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be started here very shortly. Once we get 14 people in. I must say, technology is great. Technology is very great when it works. But when it does not work, it can cause some problems. That's why I'm coming to you a little bit differently. How you doing, cousin? Thank you for tuning in. Coming to you in a different form. The new software that I'm using kind of let me down today. But I would not let that stop me. Of course, things could be worse. Tara, you tuning in live. Did the reminder help you? I think I tagged a few people in the post. And I'm just wondering, did that help? When I tell you people phones were messing up, I've had to use my Chromebook to for my notes, and just everything that could go wrong did. We're up to 10 people, so we need 4 more people. We'll go ahead and get started. What up? Yes, it did. That's great. So I'll continue doing that. So we have 10 people in the room. We're waiting on 4 more people. Come on, 4 more people. Let's go ahead and tune in. My cousin, Iris Jordan Pickett, just tuned in. Okay, we're at 13. One more. Randall Walker, he's in on time. And we will get started. We need one more. Is there one? Come while the blood is running warm in your vein. Is there one? That's kind of crooked. That's bothering me. Let me stop before it end up hitting me in the head. All right, that's still kind of crooked. And for those that didn't know, I have ADD. So, all right, so we're at 16 people, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I am Warren L. Booker Jr., the Master Chef of the Potluck. I thank each of you for tuning in today. Miss Collier, I see you. Thank you for tuning in. So we are... So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr. And today's topic is actually one that's near and dear to my heart, I must say. And we're basically placing some situations, both parents, students, administrators, so on and so forth, that none of us asked for, but we're having to deal with it. So I felt as if this would be a great topic. And of course, I've had some... I'm not going to say Facebook beefs, but I've had some conversations online with different parents about the current topic. So, and then some people asked me my opinion about that since I'm in education. So I said, you know what? Let's make that the topic for this week. And also, I'm excited about next week's topic as well. I cut my grass, I showered, and I'm still itching. I think my allergies are kind of acting up as well. But we're not here to talk about me. So we're going to start with our appetizer. It states here that at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of the parents. And I'll read that again. At the end of the day, not the beginning, but at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of the parent or parents. That is very important. So basically, what that is saying is that parental involvement is very important. And at the end of this podcast, if you would go back and watch the video in which I have posted on my page. I did this years ago for parental involvement. And I'm pretty much just dealing with not necessarily an issue, but it's encouraging parents to be more involved in their child's education. And I hope that this video is not buffering. For some reason, around this time every day, I get like all the text messages I guess I didn't get, mainly from group text messages in one day. So if there's anyone that's on here that you sent me a message and I did not respond in a group, that is why. Mic check. That is why, because it's for some reason every day I just get a flood of them. I'm updated on everything that I know to do. All right, so going back to the topic. So needless to say, our advertiser is pretty much stating that it is important that parents are involved in a child's education. All right, so the book of Kabbalah for today is Parents. You are not being a teacher. You are simply parenting. Help your child get the grade and keep the same energy when we return back to our new normal. So basically what I am saying, Mr. Terry, how you doing? Basically what I am saying with my book of Kabbalah for today is that parents, you are not necessarily being a teacher because you're not coming up with the assignments. You're facilitating, but you are simply serving in the role as a parent to assure that your students are successful with their learning. The ultimate goal is for your student to get get a passing grade for the remainder of the school year, which there's not much of the school year left anyway. And as I shared with one parent as we were talking, and this is kind of like the downward slope, if you will, of the school year where you pretty much have learned most of the things that you're going to learn, but at this point, it's application. I know for us in CTE, we're going to competitions, we're testing the students' knowledge, we're getting certifications, and like elementary school, they're testing normally during this time. So, there's a lot of studying and prepping and things for that. I mean, they get it ready for fun day and field days, etc. And I've heard a lot of parents complaining about this being busy work. Well, I mean, that's an opinion. And to some, it may seem that way, but that's the best that we can do within the allotted time that we have to offer education. Again, teachers go get education for a reason. It takes a special person. So needless to say, the parents that I've heard talking about that know our job is not easy, even though it may appear that way. All right, so we're going to move on to our topics for this evening. The first one is parental roles for virtual learning, roles of the teachers for virtual learning, and proper grammar. I felt that was befitting. Someone sent in about the usage of certain words on Facebook and different social media sites. So I feel like since we're talking about school, I'll just go ahead and put that one in there as well. All right, so our sermon breakdown for today. So we all know that on Thursday, March 12th of this year, we received notice at school via email for me from the Little Rock School District that we were not to return to school until March 30th due to the coronavirus, the COVID-19, and or how some people have shortened the name, just call it Rona. So we were told that we would not return back to school until March 30th, which that's a very special day. It's my sister's birthday. Happy belated birthday, Sharonda. And then after being home for a while, and then it was changed to April 17th, and then just this week, we were told on Monday that we would not return back to school physically in the building until next year, or to the next school year, hopefully. So again, that's just a recap of the backstory on the things that we're going to talk about. Again, this was not by design. This was not anything that the teachers had to do with. However, I've noticed that a lot of teachers are being blamed for what's going on. And again, we are fortunate within our state, the state of Arkansas, to be able to have what we call AMI days, which is the alternate method of instruction. So that means that we have 10 days that we can use for like natural disasters, or we can use it for inclement weather and contagious diseases like we are doing now. However, we have exhausted those 10 days. So at that point, another decision had to be made, not by the teachers, not by the students, not by the principals, but by the governor and the commissioner of education, and I'm sure the superintendent had some input on that. So that's just a backstory of that. So talking about the parental roles as it relates to virtual learning. And again, you do have a role. No, you're not being a teacher. What you are doing is simply being a parent. So some of the things that I would encourage parents to do is, one, stay positive. Again, people pick up on negative energy just like anyone can. When you walk into a room, you can tell if there's negative energy. So stay positive about it. Again, it's nobody's fault. We are all kind of frustrated. We're all kind of in a situation that we don't want to be in. Trust me, if teachers had their way, we would be in our classrooms. But we're not talking about teachers yet. We're talking about parents. So Booker, stay on task. All right, so you also should assist your children to the best of your ability. And if you do not understand, guess what? Call the teacher. Google. And there are some help sources that are on some of the platforms that we are using. Because you want to assure that your child is doing the best job that he or she can do. Simple as that. You want them to get a good grade at the end. Also, parents, you can learn. You can learn from the things that your that your students rather are doing. Also, in normal situations, parents, you did not dictate the teacher's lesson plans. As long as they were following the state curriculum and or a little extra something that's reasonable, you didn't decide that previously. So I don't know why parents now are wanting to decide what the lesson plan should be. A lot of parents have already attested that this is not an easy job. So come on, people, let's just stay positive. Now you are getting a taste of what we have to do, not with just one child or two children, but with several children. So you have to make sure that you be mindful of that. You kind of get a chance to see what we go through, but for about 3 or 4 hours. I think most of the assignments are for 3 to 4 hours. Due to the fact that we realize that this is a different type of environment. It's not necessarily a learning environment. You are at home. We do realize that parents are still having to work. So you are a parent. You're having to do a double duty. You're having to work from home, possibly for those who are employed. And you also have to be a parent. You have to cook. You have to do all that. But guess what? Teachers do that too. They have to prepare the lessons, check the lessons, put it in the grade book. They have to be a parent. A lot of teachers have children of their own, so they have to take care of that as well. But again, I think that we need to make sure that we apply this same behavior. I think we should be as involved once this has expired. We should be as involved in our children's education. It's a must, and it should not be anything new to you. And I can attest, people, I have some parents that I have encountered that are wonderful, I mean, I have one parent in particular this year, immediately she's on top of things. One time, being a human, I made a mistake and marked her daughter absent. I promise you, almost before I finished hitting submit, she was calling saying, hey, is my child not there? That's how involved that you should be. So at the end, there will not be any surprises. Therefore, your child can be successful. There won't be any surprises at the end. Because I know there are some parents that are totally removed. They don't even know, if their kid is going to school. They don't know about attendance. They don't know what they're studying. They don't even know what goes on at the school that their child is attending. So, that's a little bit too removed. Yes, you have to work, but still you need to be involved in your child's education, because that will be that same parent on May, whatever that date may be, and they think their child is graduating, and they don't. So again, it's important that you are involved in your child's education. I think we get that. Rule of thumb also, make sure from this point on, the parents, that you attend the parent-teacher conference. I have been in public education for 7 years now. In education as a whole for 13 years. I probably have seen 10 parents. 10. Out of 7 years. That's too far removed. Parents, get involved. Like you're involved now, stay that way. And it also shows your parents shows the kids that you do care, and they also can't get things over on you. because they know that you are involved. So needless to say, parents, be on our team. Don't be against us. Don't be mad at teachers. We didn't make the decision. We are working. We're checking emails. Tara Rainey, who's listening in, she's also an educator. She stated that in 7 years, I've only had about 5 students come to parent-teacher conference with their parents. That's ridiculous, people. That's ridiculous. And those are probably some of the main ones that are on social media that are blasting teachers. But you're not doing your part. And again, teachers did not ask for this. So get it out of your mind. Don't believe the hype. Teachers are working. Teachers are working. Okay? And trust me, if we wasn't working, they wouldn't give us a paycheck. Trust me, they would not. We work hard, all caps, for our money. Okay, so moving on to the roles of the teachers for virtual learning. So first off, it's different for some, and for some it's the norm. I do apply a lot of technology in my class, but it's not to the point where it's totally virtual. However, we have to go through a virtual training. We've had virtual Zoom meetings where we had to do it like a 3-hour PD on how to use a particular platform. Now, I don't know what's wrong with me. I may have an IEP. For those that don't know, it's an individual education plan, but for some reason, it took me 8 hours, and it should have been 3 hours. But I did elementary, and I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong. However, I did it wrong, and I spent all day completing it. But I got it done. We had to kind of rush learning the new tools. Again, we've had several Zoom conferences or whatever. How you doing, Mr. Burton? And actually, and it may sound crazy to some, but it's kind of intrusive. Because, with Zoom, of course, you're not forced to do it, but you're basically inviting all those people in your home. They're like, oh, what's that in the background? Oh, I like that wall. Those are people that you probably would have never invited to your home, per se. And the same thing with students. It's almost as if you're inviting them into your home. You're using your personal devices. You use your personal cell phones, etc. So we're still giving a lot just so that we can be able to do the things that we need to do. And some people are using Google. That's another option. So just be mindful of that. And trust me, again, teachers we would rather be in our classrooms versus having to work from home. Not even just teachers. A lot of people that are working from home, I've heard people state that they're having to work harder because now we're having to prove that we're working versus being at work and our bosses can see that we're working. That's not just for teachers, that's for other people as well. So don't blame the teachers. Don't complain to the teachers. I mean, if it's busy work, if that's the way that you feel, well, get busy and just complete the assignment. And if you want to complain, write the governor, write those other people, write Secretary Key, or Commissioner Key. Those are the people that make those decisions. And again, as teachers, I personally feel as if, and again, this is kind of personal, people, I personally feel as if we get blamed for everything with the exception of the success of our students. If a student is successful, then people take the blame. Oh, it's our good genes, or the mother is the one that will take the honor. I'm not saying the teachers are looking for that, but we're oftentimes overlooked. When you look at salaries, teachers are we train the doctors, the lawyers, and lay those foundations, and we don't get the money that they get. So you just have to be mindful of that. Teaching is a hard job. Some parents are beginning to see that. And then secondly, when you're not paid and have to deal with a whole lot of other stress, that makes it even harder because teachers, we spend a lot of our own money, so on and so forth. So it's already a hard job, and we don't need to be blamed for things that are not our faults. And I'm not saying being a teacher would always be getting beat up, because every student that walk across that stage, or every student that gets a certification, or every student that gets a job, that warms my heart, knowing that not only the things that I have helped train them and taught them, they're going to share that and carry it on with their kids and with their friends, so on and so forth. So it's like a continuous way of giving back. It's a continuous way of paying for it. And believe it or not, I actually enjoy it. I never wanted to be a teacher. Never did, because I grew up in a house with educators and administrators. However, I tried to run from it, and it was just literally laid in my lap. So I'm going to read a letter from one of my students. Again, these are some of the things that make you want to keep going when you're kind of like, I don't want to go anymore. It states here that, Mr. Booker, you have only been my teacher for a year, but it feels like you've been my teacher for longer. You work hard every day and manage to do other things on the side. Your hard work allows us to understand parts of criminal justice that seem hard, but you make it very easy. You help us grow into these skills so that we know the facts for our future. You made our goals reachable, and I thank you for that. Not only have you been a teacher, but a close friend to us. For the days we annoyed you, you still put up with our nasty attitudes and our smart remarks. In the end, you still did your job and made a fun and interactive classroom to enjoy. I still remember the time when school just started. I didn't know how I was going to stand out in front of everybody, but one of the first assignments was to pick a group and quickly make a long chain. While we were working together, I understood what you were trying to imply. Teamwork is essential in criminal justice. We worked our hardest on just a simple task, and still we were praised for our hard and good work. I'm glad that you did that. I met some of the best people in this class, including you and Officer Eubanks. For me to have a teacher like you is like winning the lottery. It's not every day I get a teacher like you. I am happy that you are my favorite teacher. And you can see in that post, there was also a certificate was given. Now, I mean, to be truthful with y'all, my eyes began to sweat because it was just confusing. She showed up in her cap and gown, and I was like, what am I missing? What's going on? And because she wanted to honor and share that moment with me. And that was just after 1 year. So it's those type of things that make it rewarding to be in education. It's sometimes viewed as a thankless job, but you know what? I'm not even there for the thank yous. I'm not there for the kudos. I am there to educate and enhance the lives of students. So with that being said, we've talked about the virtual duties as it relates to parents with their children, the parental involvement, and we talked about the teacher role. So guess what? All of that simply means teamwork. Teamwork. That's all that simply means, that we have to work together. Simple as that. There's no need of us complaining about it. We have until the end of May to complete this year. That's only a few weeks. Parents, teachers, let's get it done. Teachers not getting paid for nothing. Teachers are working. And lastly, on the side of the teacher, oftentimes people think that teachers get paid I guess to be off 2 weeks for Christmas, and we get paid for Thanksgiving, and teachers get paid to be off 2 months in the summer. Yes, for most, paychecks do come during that time. However, what people don't realize, we are on a salary. And that salary is, of course, for a year. Most teachers work like 9 to 9.5 to 9.25 months out of a year. So when we get out for school, some teachers can make the choice to get that lump sum for the summer, and or you can choose to keep everything the same and you will receive a check during those 2 months that you're off. But it's that same salary that you agreed upon. We actually take less money during the year so that we can receive our normal check during the summer. So I just want to be clear about that. I think that's a perception that most people have that is false, that teachers get paid for all this time to be off. No, we just take our salary that we agreed upon and divide it by 12 versus the 9 months in which we actually work, 9.5, 9.25 months that we work. So hopefully that cleared that up for some people. All right, so the next thing that we're going to move on to, we're going to talk about grammar. And I just want to help somebody. I really do. I want to help somebody. I have seen this time and time again on social media, and it is just this one word. And I've asked people in person. I've played around with it. I've said it aloud to myself. And the word is blessed. blessed. The word is blessed. Most people, not most, I'm sorry. A lot of my friends that I have seen, and I'm trying to see what that says. Prorated. Prorated, that's right. Thank you, Ms. Collier. It is prorated. That's the word for it. We get prorated pay. Okay, so I have seen a lot of times on Facebook, and I'm going to get in the microphone for this one. I've seen oftentimes on Facebook, people say, to all my friends, I want you all to have a blessed day. Now, if you say it fast, I want all my friends to have a blessed day. It almost sounds like I put the ED on there, but actually is not. So, Facebook friends, preachers, teachers, gospel artists, people, students, when you are writing the word blessed, it's BLESSED. And I do want to qualify this. I am not an English teacher. Yes, I have broken verbs. Yes, there are words that I cannot say. However, I have seen this be a recurring mistake. And after so long, it's not a mistake. That means that, that's what you meant to say. So again, listen up. When you are making a statement on social media or in person, or if you're ever writing it, people, if you're trying to say have a blessed day, it is not BLESS. It is BLESSED. 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 Turn to your neighbor. I want you to turn to your neighbor and tell them blessed. BLESSED. Please, please, please refrain from just putting BLESS, because there are some people that call themselves Facebook beefing, and the spelling is horrible. My cousin asked me, will you retire as a teacher? I doubt it. That there are other callings on my life. But hey, if I end up retiring from a teacher, it won't be bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Tasha Rainey said that, and that doesn't even include the after-school activities or the overtime that is put in. Most hourly people get paid for work past 8 hours, and teachers that work past the contract hours don't get reimbursed for the time that's spent. And that is very true. That's very true. Teachers do a lot of work, prepping and planning on Sunday for the week with the lesson plans. Of course, doing their prep period as well, that is allotted. But like getting ready for school. I mean, I'm constantly thinking, I can do that for my students. Hey, you do what? Oh, do you want to come talk to my students? Even at happy hour. Y'all, I done worked out some deals at happy hours. I got $1,200 for my students, some uniforms at a happy hour. So we're constantly working. Again, myself, I volunteered to announce for a band that was giving up every Friday for 10 weeks. And probably from like 5 o'clock, sometimes 4:30, until sometimes as late as 11 at night, depending on whether it was an in-state or out-of-state game. And then practices as well. So again, teachers do contribute a lot to the educational arena. So going back to the grammar. I posted on here about some homophones or whatever. And though we all know that homo means same. And these are simply words that sound alike, but they have different meaning, different spellings, and even sometimes they have different meanings. All right, so I listed a few of the tricky homophobes. So going back, people, the next time that you want to tell your people to have a blessed day, please don't write BLESS and leave it at that. Please put an ED on the end of that. It is blessed day. Have a blessed day, please. All right, so some tricky homophones. Again, these are words that are pronounced the same but are spelled differently. I saw someone recently on social media that tried to go off on somebody and talking about sense, and they spelled it SENCE, like a fifth sense, a sensory something. How you gonna go off on me and you can't even spell? I mean, I'm sorry, people. And I do know that autocorrect, it will mess you up. You can hit send. It's like it just changes it right before your eyes because that has happened to me a lot. All right, so allowed and allowed. Allowed meaning I've given someone permission to do something, ALLOWED, and then allowed, like I am speaking aloud, ALOUD. 8 and the number 8. They're pronounced the same, yet they're spelled differently. So be mindful of that. What's another one? Break and break. Like I'm taking a break from work, BREAK, and then the brakes on my car, BRAKE. Course. Now this is one that I kind of struggle with. Course, like a college course would be COARSE, and if you're saying like a person's hair is coarse, then it'll be COURSE. And I'm not going to go through all these, but you can kind of go through and kind of look through those because we are making the mistakes. No and no. I've seen some people put the word NO for KNOW. So people, we have to be mindful of that. Because if not, guess what? Your privileges of typing on social media will be revoked by me. I promise. By the power that's vested in me, that I give thine self. All right, so again, I posted that, and you can go back and look at those. I saw somebody post this on their social media page the other day. I think it actually was a Monday. And it's posted in the previous post before this one, for the Potluck. You go back and look at it. But it states, does Walmart, WALLMARK, close, CLOTHES, at 8, and they spelled it ATE, I need bread for, FOUR, Bolognese sandwiches. And they spell BELOWKNESS. That was how they spelled bologna sandwiches. And then they spelled sandwiches, just the word sand, and then witches, like a witch. WITCHES. So people, we have to do better. And of course, it was my desire to be able to pull all this in so you guys can actually see it. But again, I had some technical difficulties with that happening. So just a recap, and then I will be out of your hair. I'm cooking gizzards today, so it's time for me to cook some real food. Now, do you guys, real quick before I close it, do you guys have some homophones or something that people use that kind of irritates you, that you've noticed that we need to bless the people and help them so they will not be out here looking illiterate while they're bashing teachers? That we can help them with that. Let's see here. How are you doing? My co-teacher, Jessica Eubanks, is in the room. Thank you so much for tuning in. And people, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've been good, but today, I have started missing my kids. I really have. I went back looking at pictures, and I'm just like, wow. Even right before we were basically sent home, my students and I had the opportunity to go to the Martin Luther King Museum in Memphis, and that was a wonderful experience. And then the next day, we partnered with Teresa Harper, which is one of my co-teachers, or one of my co-workers, rather, that teaches within the same cluster. We actually did some triage simulations with the kids. So we ended with a bang. But of course, we had the K9 dogs come in. We're going to do a spring fling. We had field trips planned out. We were going to go to the dispatch center. We were going to go to training so our kids can compete against me to see who can complete the police obstacle course. I had made an arrangement so that we could go down to the Dreamland Ballroom downtown. And again, all of that was cut short. So it was kind of like abruptly. Our students, it's like a bad relationship that just ended. Almost like, you're going with somebody and they send you a text message and say, you know what, I don't want you no more. We don't go together no more. And it just ended. That's kind of like what it feels like. So again, we are in our feelings. We're in our feelings. So be mindful of that. Another one that Tara Rainey shared is T-O. Like I want some, she's going to the store, T-O. And if I was saying I want some too, that would be T-O-O. And if I was saying that she was number 2 on the line, that would be T-W-O. kind of like this. Even though I'm not an English teacher, it just feels good to kind of feel like that I am teaching. Also, yeah, and one other thing, we're going to go to the jail. That's right, OE. So, people, are there any more words that you see misused in the English language? I want to help somebody, but God, I pray that I don't see any of my friends out of all 4,900 and something of them. From this day forward, I don't see anyone posting have a blessed, BLESS day. It is blessed. BLESSED. If I can help somebody along the way just with that word, then my living is not in vain. I just want us to correct that. Another one, yes. Instead of saying, they say I asked somebody, AX, when it should be asked, ASKED. And again, these words, these are homophones, so they sound alike, but it's up to you to kind of research and do that. Through and through, THRUGH, and like a drive through, THRU. I'm trying to keep up with them. There and there, THEIR. That's showing ownership, and then there, THER. Let's see. Tara Rainey said that the one that drives me is I'm and am. Yeah. So again, people, let's just help our people. Let's help our people. And just be mindful of that. So just to kind of recap, and I'll pay attention to see if someone post. Look at me post this. Wow, like I told you, I'm not an English teacher, and I do have some slip ups myself. Is that parental involvement is definitely important. Parents, you have to be involved in your kids' education. You are not being a teacher. You are not earning our paychecks for us. You are simply being a parent and helping your kids achieve a grade that they need so they can end the school year with decent grades. That's all you do. So make sure that you turn the work in. Make sure you check their work. This is an opportunity that you can assure that what they're turning in is correct. Teachers, again, you should be making yourself available. Give lessons that are meaningful. And parents, if you feel like it's busy work, I'm sorry, just get busy and just do it. Turn it in. Again, this is a learning curve for some teachers. All teachers are not. Some are still baby boomers. Some are elderly. So this is totally new to them. You're talking about do a what? Do a Edmentum. What do you mean? Post a video? How do I do that? So remember that as well, because we are in this thing together. Students need parents. Students need teachers. And again, teachers are already beat up enough. So let's just make this decision, make this process easy. It's hard on all of us. We all have personal lives as well. So it's affecting us on both ends. So let's just make it easy. Stop playing the blame game. Teachers give the work. Parents and students do the work so the teachers can put good grades in there. Teachers are working. We're checking emails. We're checking work. We're giving assignments. We're creating assignments, trying to be creative. Some teachers are even going to the extent of answering their phone at 5:30 in the morning, which I will not do. However, they have to talk to each individual student because we're not in a classroom where we can just talk to the masses and just identify those 2 or 3 people that may have missed what we're talking about. And then lastly, we're going to have a blessed, BLESSED day, not a bless day, BLESS. You say, God bless you. That's used correctly. But if you're wanting someone to have a blessed day, meaning the day is full of blessings, then it should be BLESSED. And like I stated, if I can help somebody along the way with just this one word, then my living will not even be in vain. And then we have my another fellow Packingtownian, Pastor Sharon Womack. I see that you've hopped on. I am sporting my Packingtown University shirt. Of course, all the people that are from Packingtown understand what that means, and I am the self-appointed valedictorian, so I'm very excited about that. And if you want one of these, just holler at your boy. You can just send me an inbox a message and or give me a phone call. Again, I'm wanting to make the potluck a whole lot better. Try new software. Some things work, some things don't. I'm also working on a new intro video and a jingle I don't know when it will be ready. Hopefully by next month. But I'm very, 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 very excited about that. So, guys, keep on tuning in. Of course, if you came in late, once the live ends, you can go back and watch. You can even hold a little watch party with your friends so we can have these dialogues and conversations. Don't Facebook beef with the people who are talking about teachers aren't doing nothing. Just let them know what you are doing and leave it alone. And I'm preaching to the choir. We were not beefing, like I stated, but we're just expressing our opinions. And actually, at the end, I kind of think that the person ended up kind of seeing where we come from. And at the end of the day, you complaining to the wrong people. We're just the messengers. We're on the front line. Oftentimes, we have to enforce things that we did not come up with. So again, people, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to the Potluck. And parents, remember, the biggest gift, or it makes a child feel so good when you're there with them, when you're supporting them, when you're involved in education, when you're at their game, when you're at their graduation. There's no other feeling that's better than that. And I know that from being once being a student. I mean, if my parents were in the audience, I mean, that was next level. Even if everybody else thought I did not do a good job or did not like me, I knew that my parents were there to support. It means so much. And even in adulthood, it means a lot for my parents to be with me and to support me in the various endeavors. So until next Thursday at 7:14, I want you all to have a great day. I'm about to be real country and cook some gizzards and okra. I really should have some corn with that, but I don't think I have any. So again, people, be safe. Make sure that you wash your hands. Stay in as much as possible. Be sure to wear your mask. And you can continue to study conspiracy theories if you want to. Hopefully, this thing will be lifted by this summer, especially by July 5th, which is my birthday. But until then, be safe. And again, thank you so much for tuning in, because there's so many other things that you could be doing besides tuning in to hear me talk about topics that were given to me or the ones that I have come up with. So again, thank you for tuning in. And of course, at the potluck, you never know what's going to show up at the table. However, we will eat and digest it. Until next time, have a great day and be blessed. BLESSED. All right, people? Till next time.